All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Sergeant York, 1941. This is going to be another war propaganda film from 1941. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 stars. I hate this flick. The first half of the movie was great. Second half of the movie ruined everything. Because Sergeant York is forced to choose between God and country, sort of like what my grandfather went through, but in World War II. But this one takes place in World War I, trench warfare, which is completely different because Sergeant York got drafted, and he was a conscientious objector. He applied for an exemption. Of course, the government said no. Because, of course, the Bible says, thou shalt not kill unless the government says so. In all wars, basically. So, anyway. It's based on a true story. Alvin York was the guy's name. It's on a true war hero from World War I, which is another useless war that the United States got involved in thanks to Woodrow Wilson. One of my son's least favorite presidents. He was a progressive era guy. So, of course, he loved war and government power and income tax and Federal Reserve Board. All of that horrible stuff. All right. Sergeant York is a 1941 U.S. biographical film about the life of Alvin C. York, one of the most decorated American U.S. soldiers of World War I. Directed by Howard Hawks, starring Gary Cooper in the title role, the film was a critical and commercial success, of course, because of World War II. And it became the highest grossing film of 1941. We hate lamestream war propaganda movies from the 40s. We like Batman serial, the corny stuff. Okay. The film was based on York's diary as edited by Tom Scahill and adopted by Harry Chanley, Abram Finkel, John Huston, Howard E. Koch, and Sam Cohen. I didn't even know John Huston was the wrote the screenplay. I'm going to have to add that to the description. Okay. York refused several times to authorize a film version of his life story, but he finally yielded to persistent efforts to finance the creation of an interdenominational Bible school. Oh boy. The story that York insisted on Cooper for the title role comes from a telegram producer Jesse L. Laskley wrote to Cooper pleading with him to set the part, to which he signed York's name. Cooper went on to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance, while the film also won Best Film Editing. And it was nominated in 9 other categories, including Best Picture, Director, Supporting Actor Walter Brennan, and Supporting Actress Margaret Wycherly. I thought she was kind of hysterical, like the blondie feather-haired girl in the Wood Chipper Massacre. Okay, so but I digress. The American Film Institute ranked the film 57th in its 100 most inspirational U.S. movies. It also rated Alvin York 35th in its list of the top 50 heroes in America's cinema. I guess the other one would be Lou Gehrig, which Gary Cooper also played. It wouldn't be Howard Rourke from The Fountainhead. In 2008, Sergeant York was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Okay. Before U.S. entry into World War I, Alvin York is a poor young farmer in rural Tennessee. He's a dumb hick from Mud Lake. Living with his widowed mother, sister, and younger brother. They live in a shack. Alvin's leisure time is spent fighting and getting drunk with friends. Yeah, he's kind of vacillates between getting drunk and going to church, talking to the pastor, and getting his overall pocket fixed from his mother. So he's kind of like how I was when I went through my second divorce. Battle with the bottle. He's going through. And I think one of the dispatchers at Good Eggs is going through that too. I'll talk about Stephanie in a minute. Because I sent her like 3 texts, rapid fire, and she finally responded. I'll get to that later. And then I sent her 3 more texts. So rather than, going by memory, all the crazy stuff that happened during the past 2 days, I'll just look at my text to Stephanie. And that will remind me of everything I did. Holy cow. What a crazy past 2 days. All right. Alvin's goal is to purchase a piece of farmland, fertile bottomland. That's where the good soil is. Alvin works hard to acquire the price for the land, and he is given an extension by the owner. Alvin's sharpshooting skills enable him to raise the money required, but the owner reneges, making Alvin angry and bitter. Oh, he's being taken over by Satan. He's going back to the bottle. En route to seek revenge, Alvin and his mule are struck by lightning. The incident prompts Alvin's conversion to Christianity. Oh, the Lord threw a thunderbolt at Alvin and his mule, and he saw the light, quite literally. When U.S. enters World War I, Alvin seeks an exemption as a conscientious objector. After all, the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." That's one of the 10 commandments, but Alvin makes an exception later because he reads the render unto Caesar stupidity, idiotic interpretation. The same interpretation that my stupid trainer at MV Transportation tried to explain to me. And I made a funny face at him. Because I was just like, what? Fake Christian? Okay. Alvin York and the MV Transportation safety teacher. They both have something in common. I bet you the safety teacher has seen Alvin York, but then again, he didn't know who Patricia Neal was, so maybe he didn't. It's a toss-up. Flip a coin. Okay, so Alvin's religious exemption is denied, of course, because the government has the final say on everything. That'd be like if I tried to get a religious exemption to the COVID shots. That would be shot down similarly too if I had to be in that situation, but I don't. Because the safety and the efficacy of the COVID shots are coming into question now, about a year later, after people are dying and getting sick from it. Okay. Alvin is torn between fighting for his country and the biblical prohibition against killing. So he's got this false dichotomy of God versus country. He's got to choose between the two because he's a dumb hick from Mud Lick. His sympathetic commanding officer gives him leave to go home and come to a decision. Alvin reconciles his moral conflict after reading the biblical injunction, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's and unto God the things that are God. In other words, he misinterpreted the whole Bible passage. During the Meuse-Argonne offensive, York's qualms vanish when he sees his friends and comrades being killed as they assault a strong German position. So he's going to kill Germans in order to save his friends. He's actually saving lives by killing, which is a self-contradiction. With his superiors dead or incapacitated, he takes charge. He infiltrates the German lines by himself, and he finds a position that lets him enfilade the main German defense trench. He kills so many German soldiers single-handedly that they eventually surrender to him en masse. One of the prisoners of war treacherously grenades Alvin's good friend Pusher Ross, because the guy used to push people to the back of the New York subway, which Alvin has never seen until the end of the movie. The prisoner who killed his good friend Pusher is gunned down by York. He and the handful of survivors from his unit leave their many captives behind their lines, but they have a hard time finding anyone to take the Germans off their hands. The officer who finally does is astonished to learn that so few men captured so many of the enemy. York is decorated and hailed as a national hero, but desires to return home. He's got the hots for some hillbilly girl who looks like she's about 15. He rejects commercial offers that would make him wealthy, explaining that he could not take money for doing his duty. That's a stupid thing to do. You could have $250,000. York returns home to marry his fiancée, Gracie, who's still 15 at the end of the movie. All right, so the budget was $1.7 million. The box office was $8.3 million. And that's about all I have to say. Sergeant York was a success at the box office, and it became the highest grossing film of 1941. This was influenced by the attack on Pearl Harbor, which occurred while the film was still playing in theaters. The film's patriotic theme helped recruit soldiers. Oh, I wonder if my grandfather saw this movie, and that made him volunteer for World War II. Young men sometimes went directly from the movie theater to military enlistment offices. Yeah, I wonder if that's what happened to my grandfather. It's entirely possible. After its initial release, the film was frequently reshown in theaters all over U.S. during the war as a quick replacement for box office flops and as a theme program for Bond sales and scrap drives. According to Warner Brothers records, the film earned $6.075 million domestically and $2.184 million internationally. Gets a 7.4 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. What does it get on IMDb? Anything 7 or above on IMDb is going to get an automatic 1 out of 5 stars on my channel. Gets a whopping 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. 18,411 votes. All right. So this is what I texted to Stephanie after she sent me a text while I was almost done with my route yesterday. She says, "Hope all is going well. Everything is going well for you." There it is. And this is my response right below it. I don't know if you can see that. That's my response. I said, thanks. You're very kind. How's your day so far? Well, my Robinhood brokerage account was down again yesterday, and I haven't had a girlfriend for 5 years. But other than that, I put in about 7 hours yesterday, which is pretty decent for one route. You figure 2 routes, that's 14-hour day. And I had no late deliveries despite my phone freezing up in El Cerrito. And I got a $20 tip in Oakland. I'm set for 5 hours training at my new job during my good day off today. That changed because I was on call and I missed the call. But I'll get to that later. They're offering me pre-tax supplemental health benefits, which are good for hospital and or accident. I'll get a comment from Adrian like, why don't you U.S. people have universal health care? I'm sure we'll get there. We paved the road a long time ago in the 60s, 70s. All right. And then I asked her, was that you talking loud to the food pickers while I was hitting the head at 8:30 in the morning? Hope to see you real soon. Stephanie. Oh, by the way, here's another chat that I sent to her. Driver Art Zion just sent me a link to hiphousing.org, some kind of low-income housing in San Mateo County. Here's another text. Wow, I almost had a margin call this morning on my put option, but it's back up 15% today, thank God. I just had to deposit $143.41 into my Robinhood account. Edwin, the dispatcher, called me at 7:30 for a 1B route, but I had my ringer off, and subsequently he found another driver 10 minutes later. So I could have worked 2 jobs like, I don't know, 12 hours today, but I blew it. I didn't have my ringer on. I couldn't pick up the call. I have to get white shoes at Target or Kohl's anyway for my second job tonight. Maybe I see her tomorrow. Have a nice day, Stephanie. Oh, I found size 12 white shoes at Target for $9.99. Bam. Now time for a little nappy poo. So that kind of sums up what happened to me during the last 2 days. I've been slow watching Sergeant York. One thing I forgot to mention is it's very long. It's way too long. It's 134 minutes running time. Oh, that was brutal. Directed and produced by Howard Hawks. I don't know if I should put that in the description. I'll look and see. But that's the end of my review. I'm not going to say highly recommended or check it out. I'm going to say lamestream war propaganda movie. No! Sergeant York sold out his principles to kill a bunch of Germans. I liked it up to the point where he was reading that Bible, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and that was good. 50% of the movie. If they would have just left it at that and eliminated all the war propaganda stuff, I would have been like, Sergeant York is a cool guy, but he kind of started going downhill. as he entered the army. Of course, he became a great sharpshooter from learning how to shoot at turkeys to raise money for his dream of acquiring property so that he can marry Gracie. Anyways, well, I guess I'll watch the Monster Pedrius Blancas. I'll finish up that. I've got about an hour left before I have to pick up my son. I'm trying to pick him up early so that I can get my 5 hours tonight, because I blew it. I couldn't work 2 jobs today. I would have been dead tired tomorrow anyway from working 2 jobs. But I took the energy drink at 12 p.m., so it should be wearing off at midnight, which is when I get off. And then I have to go to my next job at around 7:45. They'll probably ask me to punch in early or something. I'll get this huge route tomorrow. So it's the first time that I've worked 6 days in a row since April. And, well, not really. I think I did it when I was going through the bus driver training. I don't remember when that was. Earlier this month, maybe. I think it only took me like 3 weeks to find a second job. So I really put my mind to it. And hopefully I get on this, I get some cheap housing in San Mateo County from hiphousing.org. And hopefully Stephanie responds to my no girlfriend in 5 years comment. But I'm not holding my breath exactly. I've got about a 1 in a million chance of getting a response to that. I've tried it so many times with other women, and it's just impossible. I haven't had a girlfriend in 5 years. It's pretty much says it all. But anyway, that margin call scared the crap out of me. I was trying to deposit money right away. I think it's going to hit my my checking account right when I get my paycheck. The good news is that I don't have to get accident insurance or hospital indemnity insurance through Aflac off the street anymore. I can just leave my accident policy as inactive. They're not going to pay my claim from July anyways. And I'm going to cancel my my hospital indemnity policy through Aflac. And I've already canceled my my ARAG legal and identity theft protection plan that I used to have through my employer, and then subsequently I continued it on the streets, so to speak. That's set to cancel next week. And I'm supposed to get a $15 refund next week from them. So I'm getting through that through my new employer as well. And I've got the creme de la creme of white shoes, no shoelaces, from Target for my new job. I forgot to mention that it's for my new job with Stephanie, but I was kind of surprised the shoe pavilion place in Daly City closed down because they couldn't do enough business. They were charging like $100 for a pair of shoes, and they were discounted shoes. They were decent shoes that provided good support. But when I bent the shoes at Target, they seemed like they had good support, and I put them on, after I got home, and they were very comfortable. So I'm going to start using those shoes for everything. Because my decent Rockport shoes, the black ones, they were starting to fall apart anyway. The soles were missing, and pieces were coming off the side. So it was about time for me to get new shoes anyways. And I was pretty excited when I found size 12 at Target. I wasn't expecting much from Target, but I should have been going there to buy shoes from the beginning. I don't think they sell Rockport, though. That's the only problem. I like Rockport for the support, even though it does cost $100, probably cheaper online if you get it online. But I didn't have time. I had to go to work tonight, and I couldn't find it last night, the shoe pavilion. So I said, I'll just skip over it, sleep for 12 hours, and then go back to Target or Kohl's the next day, which I did this morning. And so got all my laundry done. I got my son's snack bag ready, full of sweets and vitamins and stuff. And I didn't put in the ice cream in there, though. It'll melt. I'll put that in later when he gets here. He's into the Jones Green apple soda. So we're slowly killing off the last of the Bundaberg, Blood Orange, and ginger beer. And Lucky's ran out of the green apple. They've got empty shelf in Daly City. So I'm going to have to go to the Lucky's in Millbrae or something to look for green apple this weekend before I pick them up on Sunday. So it's my last day with my son until Sunday. I've got 2 jobs lined up. I'm super excited about that. But I still don't have a girlfriend or a new place to rent. Those are my 2 obstacles for the remainder of the year, in addition to getting my Robinhood account back to normal. So I've got 3 obstacles to overcome. And I think I blabbed enough about this, that, and the other. I'll let you go. But anyways, the whole disc, I'm giving 1 out of 5 stars. The Seahawk disc, I gave 2 out of 5 stars because the 2 bonus features were horrible. The main feature was decent. The 2 bonus features were horrible. Fortunately, in the Seahawk, another war propaganda movie, the only bad part was the very end. But for this movie, Sergeant York, the bad part is the last half of the movie, which is like 1 hour and 5 minutes. So it was torture. Nothing redeeming could I find about Alvin York. I thought he sold out his Judeo-Christian principles. That's just my opinion, my 2 cents worth. Nothing after inflation. Laters.